All right, guys, this is Donnie and Sandra, and this is kind of a little part 2 of our previous video of the laundry detergent that we made. And we have, on one of our thread trail hikes, the Carolina thread trail hikes, we were in Mooresville at the Dye Creek Greenway. We smelled just a really nice fragrance. Found out it came from a mimosa tree, and that's where these little flowers came from, the mimosa tree. And what we did is we got doing some homework. Sandra got doing some homework on the mimosa tree and found out there's all different types of, holistic type properties with this tree, especially for anybody that deals with anxiety or depression, things like that. And so what we did is all of a sudden, since we found out about the tree, now all of a sudden we're seeing this tree everywhere. And we've learned it can be quite evasive as far as a tree. One guy that we met said it's almost like a weed. And but we had a neighbor close by us that had several on some property of his. We asked him if we could get some. He said, take all you want. And while we were out there, we met a therapist. A therapist saw us harvesting parts of the tree and pulled over and said, hey, can I pick some? And we introduced ourselves, and she told us who she was, and she knew the neighbor also. And we said, yeah, he said it was fine. So she came out and we talked about this, and she says that with some of her clients, she uses the stuff that we're about to show you. And so she taught us some extra little stuff to do. And what we did is we picked the flowers off the tree, and we also took a limb off, a small limb off, and we were told to strip the bark off of the limb. So outside, I took a knife and I stripped the branch down of the bark. She said, just take the bark down just to the tree is all you need to do. And what can we do with what we got, with what we harvested?
Okay, so you can dry this out and make tea with it, and you only need a teaspoon per cup, or you can, well, which we're going to do is make a tincture out of it.
Do I need to cut that down more?
No, it'll fit in here.
Okay.
We're just going to put
Now say that. Now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to have the word that she's saying, because it's so hard to really, it's hard to say as it is, but I don't even know how to spell it. But what exactly are you making?
It's a tincture. It's basically you're making an elixir.
Okay. And what she told us is that, now, does both of these need to sit for 4 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. What we're doing is we were told, now what did, she uses something other than vodka.
She uses vodka.
Oh, does she? Okay.
You need 100 proof vodka, or and I did watch several YouTube videos. They used Everclear, but
Okay.
the guy at the gentleman at the ABC store informed me, since I didn't drink on a regular basis, that Everclear would probably be a little too strong. So, and he said for medicinal purposes, this works just fine, and this was cheaper.
Did he sell Everclear? Because from what you heard at one time,
I thought it was illegal in North Carolina, but it's not. They had it.
Okay, you filling this all the way up?
Yep.
Or just till it's covered?
Well, we need to fill it all the way up because we want to have as much of it as we can.
Okay.
Now, this one we're going to do with apple cider. We're going to use raw apple cider in it.
Do you have apple cider?
I do not have it, but we're going to do that. But that's what we're going to put in this one. We're going to put this in the jar. Same thing. Fill it up. But I got to get raw apple cider. So.
Okay.
And we're going to let both of these sit for 4 weeks.
So you're going to put vodka.
In one of them, and apple cider in the other one.
Okay. Now what she said is, these are going to have to sit for 4 weeks. She said people will sometimes say that all you need to do is let it sit for 2 weeks. She said no, let it go for 4 weeks.
And from what I understand, you're supposed to shake it a couple times a week too.
Okay. And she said, now she said that she is an active treating clients with depression, anxiety, grief, and she says that she puts 3 droplets
under their tongue.
3 droplets, and these are little eye drop. Little eye drop.
Eye drops, yeah.
3 eye drops under the tongue. I don't even know if she said how many, because some people said you do it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
I guess whenever whenever the feeling comes over you.
Yeah.
And so, but hey, supposedly there is a sense of well-being.
Yeah. It's a mood booster.
It's a mood booster. And guys,
and it's all natural.
It's all natural. It's all natural. Now, for some of you guys that know about my creation ministry, back before the flood, they ate plants. They had they had a vegetarian diet. Plants have so many different qualities to them, and now we're milling our own bread. We're milling our own bread, and we're taking all the grain, the wheat, and it's just like it was intended to do, just like we were intended. And so much of your store-bought stuff is sifted through, it's processed, and they take portions of it out and they resell it and reuse it in other areas. Well, our health is what ends up getting the punishment of that. So again, here's another use of a plant that again, like I said, we were on a hiking trail. We smelled it right off. We're like, oh my gosh,
it was very fragrant.
It was such a pleasant odor. And then we got to looking into it. Well, Sandra got to looking into it. And now we found out something that you guys can use that you don't have to make Big Pharma rich anymore.
Yeah. And also, what Donnie said about eating plants, I read online where you can actually put this in a salad and eat it.
Huh.
Like people eat dandelion greens. So yeah, you can eat this in these little flowers in a salad.
Yeah. And so, but anyway, we're gonna and I tell you what, we'll let this
update in 4 weeks.
We'll update you guys in 4 weeks, and we'll let you know exactly what it tastes like, how we feel about it, and I don't think it's going to explode like the
like the whey soda.
Like the whey sodas did. Which way that turned out good.
Yeah.
Well, we saw videos where it was like a volcano coming out of people's jars.
Yeah.
And so ours turned out good. It just gave us a surprise pop in the end.
Yeah.
And so, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of this and I'm going to dry it out because I do want to make tea with it.
Yeah.
And so, and what was the...
a teaspoon.
A teaspoon per...
Cup.
Per cup?
I believe
okay. So. And you just put it, for the most part, I think you just...
Or per serving, like a teacup, yeah.
Yep, I mean, do you let it seep like a bag of tea? Okay.
Yep.
All right, guys, well, we'll make some of that too, and I'll show you that, and we'll give it a taste test and see what we feel about that. But anywho, we'll see you in 4 weeks. All right, it has been 4 weeks.
Little over 4 weeks.
Little over 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Since we've put the bark. Now, if y'all remember, the mimosa bark, and this had what kind of vinegar?
It was
apple.
Yeah, raw apple cider vinegar.
Raw apple cider vinegar. We filled this thing up full of bark, from the mimosa tree, and we let it soak for. It was a little over 4 weeks. You're supposed to let it soak for at least 4 weeks. And this one here, we put vodka.
Yes.
Hey, grab out that bottle of vodka. What you did with the extra bit of it? Okay, we'll talk about that also. But this one here had vodka in it, and Sandra ended up getting. Well, you just got way too much.
I got 2 bottles because I thought we were going to do both of them, the bark and the flour and the vodka, and we didn't. So I had an extra bottle. So
she had a whole extra bottle of vodka. So what we did is she makes her own vanilla, and so she went on Amazon, right?
Yep.
Was it Amazon? And got some. You got some extra.
Yeah.
We got some extra little. You can buy these beans, guys. You can buy these beans here, these vanilla beans. And you just give it a slit down the middle.
Split them open.
Split them open and just set them in the. I guess some people can clean out the seeds if they want to.
You can clean out the seeds. I've done both, but the seeds in the liquid, they end up coming out anyway. So that's not necessary.
So at any rate, we were like, oh man, we got all this vodka, and I've got. Hey, wait a minute, let's make some vanilla. And so we got more vanilla to last us probably the rest of our life.
I don't know. We go through a lot of vanilla.
Do we?
Yeah.
But or we'll give them to people for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so at any rate, but man, that is really in 4 weeks. That's what that's because that was clear.
Yeah.
Well, bring it back over here.
Yeah, I put a lot of beans in this one.
Yeah, that thing is full of vanilla beans.
Yeah.
But it was turn it around. See, can you see the beans?
Well,
Probably not. It's so dark.
I chopped them up this time.
Yeah.
There's a one right there.
But that was, I mean, that was absolutely clear as water.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago. And so, but you're supposed to let it sit for how long?
For at least 4 months.
4 months. So that's, I mean, that's going to be some really good stuff. But at any rate, we took the vodka and we took the mimosa flowers, those little flowers. If you remember the flowers that we had,
The pink flowers.
the little pink flowers, we absolutely stacked this thing. I mean, just put a whole bunch of them in it, stuffed them in here, and then we put vodka to top it off, make sure they're covered, and then we sealed this up, set it on our counter for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
For 4 weeks. And so now we took some bark, and you can make tea out of some of the bark. And what we did is we put the bark in a coffee grinder. And we powdered this up. Can you open that up and show them what it looks like?
I'm actually thinking about possibly encapsulating this and putting them in capsules.
Well, at any rate, you can make tea out of this. So we have these little tea bags that are empty.
Well, we have.
Do you have some?
We have the little tea.
Well, that or we have those little metal things that you put tea in.
Where are they at?
Any rate, you can make your own tea. You can make your own tea. If you guys know the little, what are they called?
Tea filters, I guess.
They're little tea filters, little bags that you can get, and you can put tea inside of it and make your own tea. Well, that's what we're going to do with this. And so now what we did is, that's okay, don't worry about it. We'll find it as soon as I get done recording. That's usually how it works.
They're little tea balls.
I know, yeah, the little metal tea balls, and but any of you guys that are into tea, you know what we're talking about. Anyhow, I can't get that shut with one hand. We put the mimosa bark in this dropper and the mimosa flower in this dropper. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I am no expert on this. It all started from us doing a Carolina Thread Trail hike. We saw this cool tree that smelled absolutely wonderful, and we got doing some homework on it and found out that it had medicinal properties to it. And so
It's supposed to help with anxiety and depression.
okay, yeah. And now when we went to we found a neighbor that had a tree. We asked him if we could get some of the flowers and the bark. He said, get all you want. We actually met a therapist out there because the therapist drove up. She was searching for a mimosa tree to get some stuff from, and she knew our neighbor, and we said, yeah, he gave us the okay to get some. So she gave us some more insights into this, and she says that she actually uses this with her clients that she deals with. And so at any rate, guys, and just to let you know, I personally myself do, I struggle with anxiety. In the past I have. I don't, I've been doing very well. And so I was in law enforcement. I was deputy sheriff and started having some weird symptoms. And I struggled with it for about a good 6 months. And after that, I said, you know what? Something just ain't right. And so I went to the doctor, and doctor says that you're dealing with anxiety. They said, really, the best thing for you is to get out of what you're doing. And so I tried to go to another division. Maybe that would help. Doctor said, no, it's best for you to get out. And I ended up getting worse, guys. And so I said, you know what? Maybe the Lord has something else for me. And so I was close to being 50 years old. And so what I did is I got up with the state. They did have a plan for me. And so I worked about another year and a half, and I left. And so sometimes you just got to make changes. You can do things, pills and medicine and stuff like that is there. But then, guys, that's just one side of it. That's to treat the symptoms. Now you need to treat what's causing it. And so, and I'm not saying that law enforcement itself caused it. I've had a few things in my life that happened that could have been that could have contributed to it. And so, there seems to be a history on my mom's side of the family. And so I learned about that afterwards. And so, but at any rate, sometimes you just got to make hard changes into your life. And so that's what I did. And so, but this right here is supposed to help with anxiety and depression from what I understand. Now, this is all extra. This is extra that we have. But as far as doses, what have you learned about the doses? It's kind of across the board.
Well, you mean all over the board?
It's kind of across the board as far as what you can do.
The lady that we met said 3 drops under the tongue. I do know under the tongue helps you absorb it faster. We tried it with 10 drops is what we did.
Okay.
I've seen a teaspoonful.
Now guys, of course I will say this. Now some people that we watched as far as watching videos, we said that we watched them, they were like, they could feel something almost immediately. Again, I don't know a whole lot about this, but I will say that just for the heck of it, I took 3 drops of the mimosa bark. This is the one that has the apple cider raw vinegar, and just for taste purposes, I just want to see how it tastes. Of course, I'm doing fine. I've been, I work a little part-time job on the weekends, 16 hours a week. And so my life is really good right now. And so I'm doing it very well. It was one of the best decisions I ever made, just to go ahead and leave and early retire. But I've been retired now for close to 4 years now. And so I'm doing it really well. No medication whatsoever. But I did go ahead and take some of this, and I can't necessarily feel anything, but I don't know if you have to be in the throes of an anxiety attack for this stuff to actually have an impact on you. But the mimosa flower, same thing?
Yes.
Same thing. This is the one
it's just known as the happy tree is what it's called.
Okay. Yeah. So for what it's worth, guys, this is what we found. And so now I will say, from what we have gathered, this stuff is like liquid gold.
Yes.
So we have quite a stockpile of this stuff. And so, at any rate, I don't know, maybe you guys can throw in a comment. How do you feel about it? Are you familiar with this? We just thought, well, for the heck of it, why not? Now, I will say this. The mimosa flower, this is the one that has the vodka in it. Mm-hmm. It took the aroma of the flower. Mm-hmm. That smells good. Mm-hmm.
And I put some of that in my water and drank it, and you couldn't even taste it.
Yeah. Now, that's one of the ways you could use it.
Yeah, you can put it in water or whatever you're drinking. You can put a few drops in that, or you can put it under your tongue.
Okay.
So, or you can make tea, or like I said, I'm going to try to make maybe some capsules.
I have not tried the tea yet. No. I have not tried the tea yet.
I would not steep this straight up in tea. I would mix it with the tea that you like, maybe, and just put a little bit of this in it.
Yeah. Because it does. It smells like just regular tree bark.
Yeah, it smells like bark.
But other than that, guys, that's about it. We just wanted to share that with you. Again, this is from a mimosa tree, and it all started from a little nature hike that we did. We found a tree. I've seen them all over the place. I didn't know what they were called.
They smell wonderful.
But they smell absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. And so we actually used some of the mimosa flower in our laundry.
Yep.
And so if you guys will remember that. Mm-hmm. And so that's where kind of this like the second part of that video. But other than that, guys, we hope that this has helped you out. We hope we've given you some type of insight. You guys that are familiar with this, give us some educations, some insight on your experiences. And other than that, hey, if this helps you, this is a natural remedy.
Yes.
And so you don't have to make Big Pharma rich. And so other than that, guys, y'all take care. We love you. And we hope the Lord blesses you real good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.